Hello and welcome to the Talking Locs with Locitude podcast. My name is Ade Balogun and this episode is produced by E the Mastermind. In this episode, I'll be reading a letter to Danika on how to get rid of lint from our locks. Dear Danika, girl, how are you? I hope your back is getting better by the day. Can you imagine it's almost been a year since we've met? I'm so grateful that your former loctician cancelled on you, else we wouldn't have found each other. We've come a long way. Lock extensions, blonde locks, short locks getting long again, burgundy locks, and all the yin and yang 2022 has brought us both. On one of these Sundays, I hope to get on the metro to explore your side of town, but till then, I thought to warm up your days with this letter. How are we going to get rid of lint this winter and beyond? This letter is going to be more about pondering on how we solve the lint problem for every lockhead in the world. For God knows, I won't give up a warm hat in freezing weather. I would frankly rather have lint. However, I still want my hair to be beautiful, clean and lint-free. But the question remains, how? How do I intend to achieve this without interrupting fashion, sleep, comfort and warmth? Let's start with the obvious. GIGO. That stands for garbage in, garbage out. This is a concept I remember from my computer classes either in primary school or early secondary school. Garbage in, garbage out. It pretty much translates to what you give is what you get. For instance, sleep with a fuzzy blanket, you get lint in your hair. Wear a wool hat, you get lint in your hair. For those with longer locks, laying your hair on your woolly sweater for extra warmth or just because it can't fit into your wool hat, you get lint in your hair. Problems, problems, problems. The answer seems simple. Don't put things that have lint near your hair. That way, garbage doesn't get in and we don't need to get garbage out. Simple, yes, but at what cost? Back to stating the obvious. If we don't get lint into our hair, then we don't need to get lint out of our hair. There are at least a decade's worth of good hair practices that have the solution. Sleep in a satin bonnet or scarf. Use a satin pillowcase. It may not be as warm and it may be difficult keeping up with the routine and it may not be as sexy, especially if you share a bed with a special someone. But it sure works. There's also the added benefit of retaining moisture from wearing satin bonnets and using a satin pillowcase. The only other problem is that lint doesn't reside on the bed alone. It also resides in our day-to-day clothes as well. There are alternatives like silk or satin-lined hats, hoodies, and other fashion accessories. These may not be as accessible as a bonnet, and would we only wear lined clothes? Won't our fashion options be limited? My sister, short of starting a lockhead clothing line, I do not know the solution to this problem. Well, moving on. Question. Do ACV rinses with baking soda really remove lint from your hair? Truth is, I don't know. And it doesn't seem practical to me. I tried doing an ACV rinse many years ago when I still experimented with everything and was desperate for lock knowledge from the internet. The ACV dried out my locks drastically. My locks were so brittle that I cannot in good conscience do the same to another person. From a practical point of view, ACV and baking soda rinses would be a good lint remover if the combination dissolves the lint to liquid. I do have some baking soda and ACV at home, not for lock detoxing, but I'll be sure to experiment and let you know the results. If it works, maybe we can try detoxing your locks if you would let me. The only other thing I forgot when I was talking about fashion and satin-lined accessories is the turbans. The turbans are actually a very great solution to solve our fashion problem when it comes to protecting our hair from lint. It seems like it's probably the only solution realistically, and maybe I should experiment a bit more this winter. I know that there are a lot of videos on YouTube teaching you how to tie your turban in different styles. This would definitely be a different look for me, but I'll be willing to try. Last but not the least, I think I have to go ahead and invent a tool that's magnetic, that when it comes in contact with your hair, is able to differentiate between the texture of your hair and lint, and when you rub it over your hair, the lint just basically follows this magnet and takes the lint out of your hair. I guess if I'm able to invent this solution, I might probably never have to work a day in my life. So I do have a lot of experimenting to do. And as you can tell, I do not have one easy, quick solution on how to remove lint from your hair during the winter and beyond. So, Danika, I advise that we try as much as possible to do what is practical. Garbage in, garbage out, or more like, leave the garbage out so it doesn't get in. Okay, Danika, there you have it. This is my letter to you this winter. I hope you have enjoyed listening to it. Until I get on the metro to come and check out your side of town, don't forget to continue keeping it locked with an attitude. You definitely always do. Okay, that's me signing out. Your lockhead, Ade. There you have it. I hope you've listened to this point. And if you have any solutions for keeping lint out of your locks this winter and beyond, please be sure to kind of message me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, I guess, on any way you listen to your podcast. I would be glad to include it in my next letter to somebody else. And if you actually do have any lock questions for me, or you think that I might be able to write a letter to you to answer some of the lock questions that you've been pondering on, I will be glad too. Don't forget that you could reach us mostly on Instagram at Locitude, Locitude. And don't forget to keep it locked with an attitude. Bye.